Hey friends, let's get moving. You will need a few things for today's class. One of them is a corner. So please try to be close to an open corner in your room, wherever you're practicing, and we will be putting ourselves in the corner partway through class. You should also probably have a blanket or a pillow of some kind, and a block is optional or can be a substitute for the blanket. Now, I'm really cold. It's cold in here, so I'm starting with my socks on, and once we really get moving, I'll take them off. So if you're cold, feel free to leave your socks on for the beginning. So let's begin by interlacing our fingers and turn your palms away from you up towards the ceiling. Stretch your arms up, take a deep breath in, and let it out, let your arms drop. And now again, go to cross your fingers, but put the other index finger in front so it feels a little weird. Turn your palms away from you up towards the ceiling, reach tall, maybe come up onto your tippy toes, take a deep breath in, and drop your arms down. So now bring your shoulders into some circles. So scrunching up towards your ears, reaching them away from the spine, dropping them down. Warming up this part of ourselves. You can go in the opposite direction. Really squeezing the shoulder blades together behind your back. And relax that. Now bring your chin to your chest. And you can bring your ear to your shoulder and your ear to your other shoulder. So you're going from like 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock with your head. Back and forth. If one side feels like a really yummy stretch, maybe take a breath there and pause. And slowly lift your head up. We're going to start with some joint rotations. So if balance is an issue, come over to the wall or get a chair. And so we're going to start with the ankles. So I'm going to start with my right ankle, standing on the left foot, lift the right leg up and circle the right ankle joint. Full range of motion here. You just need 3 circles in one direction and then 3 circles in the other direction. Being super intentional with your circles. And let's switch. Left foot, 3 circles in one way. Really trying to clear out the cobwebs of that joint mobility. Go in the other direction 3 times. Slow and intentional. Okay, and then do your knees. So bend and extend your left knee. Few times there. And right side, bend and extend your right knee a few times. And now we're going to come up to the hips. I'm going to turn this way so you can see. You can challenge yourself without holding on to anything, or you can use the wall for support. So I'm going to start with my left leg. I'm going to bring my left knee up, my left thigh up. I'm going to bring my knee up to my chest as close as I can get it. And then I'm going to take my leg out to the side and back and down and forward again. So 2 more like that, really making as big of a circle with your knee as you can. Last one this way. Ooh, I popped. And reverse. Again, you're really trying to get to the very edge of your range of motion here. So you're going slowly with intention. I think this is 3. It might have been 4. And let's do the other side. Okay, so right leg. First start by bringing your knee as close to your chest as you can, and then take your knee out to the side, back behind you, and down and forward again. 2 more times. Going slowly with intention. We're not trying to speed through these. They just don't take that long. Let's just be present right here. And reverse. Can you feel your muscles getting warmer? Can you feel like you're giving your joints a massage from the inside out? Last one. And release. Whew. Okay, let's come up to the shoulders now. Left arm, make a fist, and start with your arm out in front of you. Palm is down, pointing down. You're gonna take the arm back behind you. So now the palm is pointing up. You're gonna take it as far as you can go, and then by rotating the upper arm bone, flip the palm to face up. And then just like you're slow motion pitching a baseball, you're gonna take it forward until we come back to the starting position. So here, really try not to displace the rest of your body, so you're just targeting the shoulder. Last one this way. Slow pitch. Okay, and now come back to that first starting position so we can reverse, but we're gonna flip the palm up towards the ceiling. So take your arm up as far as it will go, and then by rotating at the upper arm bone, you're gonna turn your palm kind of back behind you, and then really eke out that range of motion as you bring your hand back down. Coming back to starting position, palm towards the ceiling, lifting up, rotating at the upper arm bone, reaching back, getting as much range of motion there as you can. Last one. I guess this would be slow pitch softball there. Okay, let's do the other arm. So make your fist in your right hand. Start with your wrist in line with your shoulder, palm down. Take your arm back and up behind you. And when you reach the end of your range here, without like bending over or curling your spine, that's gonna make you feel like you got your arm higher than you actually did. But we just wanna focus on the shoulder and the arm. So when you're here, pause, rotate the upper arm bone, and now the palm's facing forward, and we're gonna slow pitch baseball. And again, once you get the arm up and back as high as it'll go, rotate at the upper arm until palm faces up. Really eke out that range of motion there to get your pitch. Last one. And coming back to starting, turn your palm to face up. Okay, here we go, reverse. Take your arm up and back. Woo, and when you can't get any further, then you're gonna pause and rotate at your upper arm bone so your palm faces back, eking out that range of motion back there. Woo, keeping the elbow straight. Slow pitch softball. And again, really trying to take out any of the movement in other parts of the body here. So it can be easy to, as your arm comes back behind you, to kind of twist a little to make it seem like you have more range of motion than you actually do. Try not to do that. Try to stay honest. Okay, now wrists. First, give your fingers a little spirit fingers. Yeah. Okay, now wrists. So I'm gonna start with my left wrist. I'm gonna lock my elbow in so that I know my upper arm's not gonna move. And I'm gonna use my right hand to hold on to my forearm because I really want this veiny part of my forearm to stay pointing up towards the ceiling. I don't wanna use my forearm to move my wrist and my hand. I really just wanna concentrate this movement at my wrist joint. So I have a strong hand here, and I'm gonna point my fingers down towards the ground and then start a wrist circle. And so I'm looking at my wrist and my hand as it moves. You're gonna go 3 times in one direction. And the reason I'm looking here is I want to increase my range of motion in my wrists, especially as a massage therapist. And just by looking at it, you can get a lot of information. You can help your brain kind of sort out what's going on down here. And reverse. Don't let your forearm do the moving. If you are at a computer and typing on a keyboard a lot of the day, you got to take some breaks for these wrist circles. Especially if you're one of those desk jockeys and then you come home to get on your mat and do a workout and you can barely stay in the plank because your wrists hurt so much. Go ahead and relax, switch. This is something that can really help to strengthen your wrists and your forearms. So add this in throughout the day. So we're anchoring the elbow in, holding onto the forearm so it doesn't move. Point your fingers down towards the ground and then start your circles. You choose which direction you want to go in, because we'll go in both. Slow, intentional circles, because you really are trying to get to the edges of your range of motion here. If you go too fast, you might miss an opportunity. After you've done 3, go ahead and reverse, other direction. Ooh, this is where my forearm wants to do it for me. I don't know if that was 3, so I'm gonna do one more. It might be 4. Okay, shake it out. Okay, now I can take my socks off. I'm a little bit warmer. And we're gonna get moving here. Okay, so come to the middle of your mat and take your feet about pelvis width apart. So not your hip flesh, sense deeper than your lovable soft tissue to your bone. And that's where you want your feet to be. And you want your feet to be parallel, okay? So toes not out any wider than the heels. And we're gonna do some squats for now. So I'm gonna show you straight on, and then I'm gonna turn sideways and show you as well. So I'm gonna reach my arms out in front of me. I'm gonna keep the palms up this time. And so as I sit back, I'm coming to the point where my knees are over top of my ankles. I'm really reaching my seat back. And then when I exhale, I'm gonna pull my elbows back as I stand up. So let me show you this way. So I'm gonna inhale, reach my arms forward. That's gonna kind of help to counterbalance the weight. And I'm really driving my seat back, trying to get my knees vertically over my ankles. That's what's really gonna turn on the glutes. It's really gonna lengthen and strengthen the pelvic floor as well. So this is what we're focusing on today. So the inhale comes down and the exhale, stand up. Inhale, reaching the seat back. Exhale, standing up. So you can go quick if you want. You can go slow if you want. Whatever works for you is fine. Can you feel your glutes firing up to help you stand? Drive the elbows back, shoulder blades in. Let's keep going. Keep breathing. Let your breath help you with this work. As you're reaching forward, thinking about maybe, what do you need to give back? What do you need to serve up? And then as you pull the arms back, what are you trying to draw in? What are you trying to bring into your life? We're still going. We're still going. Can you smile while you squat? If you're like, Jen, I want to serve this squat sequence right back to you, serve it right back to me, and draw in some rest. 3 more. 2. Last one. Stand. Shake it out. Close your eyes. Stand and breathe. Can you feel your heart beating? We're going to bring it down to the ground now. So squatting down or taking a lunge to come down, whatever is easiest for you. Try not to use your hands. Come into all fours. Our wrists are nice and warm and prepared for this from our joint rotations. So trying to point the middle fingers forward and the elbow creases in the same direction as the middle fingers. Keep your arms straight, and as you inhale, squeeze your shoulder blades towards one another, towards the spine. It's going to look like your chest is moving towards the ground a bit. And then as you exhale, push into your hands and move the shoulder blades apart from one another. It's going to feel like that mid-back spine is moving up towards the ceiling. So inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And exhale, push through your hands, get the shoulder blades apart. Keep the elbow creases pointing forward, fingers long and strong. Go at your own pace. Again, you might feel like you want to go at a faster clip today, and that's fine. Maybe you're feeling the slow burn though. You do you. Choose your tempo. Keep the elbows straight. Keep a lot of space between the shoulders and the ears so the neck is nice and long. Last one. Let's make this one slow. So really find the bottom here. Squeeze the shoulder blades in towards the spine as much as you can with the elbow creases forward, and then push into your hands. Feel the shoulder blades move apart. Push, push, push. Get the shoulder blades as far apart as you can, letting that upper mid spine here reach towards the ceiling with a long neck for 3. Push, push. 2. Push with the hands. And 1. Oh, relax. Get off your hands. Shake them out. So if you can sit on your heels comfortably, great, do that. If you need a little bit more support, you can sit on a block under your bottom or a blanket, or you can sit cross-legged if that feels better for you. You could even sit in a chair. So find your neutral pelvis. Feel your sit bones on whatever you're sitting on, and your ribs should be in neutral. So we're not lifting up through the rib cage. You want your ribs to melt down. And now touch your pinky fingers together and reach your arms straight out in front of you so your wrists are at shoulder height. Now, you want to keep your rib cage stationary for this. We're just going to try focusing on the arms and the shoulders, and that's going to play out in the chest and the upper back for us. So melt your shoulders away from your ears. Let it go. So we're going to take a breath in and open the arms wide as far as they'll go without having to move your chest. So my wrists are actually forward of my shoulders here. If I wanted to get my wrists in a line with my shoulders, I have to do a little bit of a back bend. I have to lift my rib cage up in a way that I don't necessarily want to do right now. Sometimes it's fine to do that movement, but for today, we're going to try to keep the ribs where they are. So the inhale opens the arms, and then as you exhale, you're going to kind of resist yourself. Squeeze into the pinkies, okay? And so when you're here, you have your elbow creases still pointing towards the ceiling the whole time, okay? Inhale, open the arms, and exhale, resist yourself. Inhale to open, and exhale. Bring it in. Notice if one arm wants to resist more than the other. Do you have a lazy arm? I do. It's okay. Now, this time when you bring your hands together, can you get your elbows together too? Oh! Inhale, open up, and exhale. Pinky side of the hand and elbows together if you can. And when I do that and I go to inhale, it feels like my arms are on rockets or something. They just shoot wide apart. Exhale, squeeze in, resist yourself. Inhale, open wide. And exhale, squeeze in. And last time, this time though, open up, let your chest open up. Maybe take your head back a little bit. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. This time you're gonna wrap your arms around you. Give yourself a big hug. And if it feels cheesy, lean into the cheesy. Sometimes we need cheesy in our lives. Let's inhale, open back up, let your chest really open, move the rib cage, and exhale, hug, but put the other arm on top. Give yourself a hug. And while you're back there, can you really get your shoulder blades apart? And stretch and move, find what feels good here. And relax. Okay, so if you're using the block, put it off to the side. We're gonna come back onto all fours on our way to a plank. So choices for plank, you can just scoot your knees back a bit and be in a low plank. You can also start in all fours and then step one foot back and the other, coming to a high plank. So it's your choice, but wherever you are, push through your hands. Feel your shoulder blades move apart. Low ribs hug in. And breathe. Keep your fingers long and strong. Can you load the whole length of your finger here? Instead of just crunching or clawing the ends of your fingers into the mat. Keep breathing. Relax your jaw, maybe smile. For 3, 2, and 1. Drop your knees if you need to. Let's come all the way to the belly. Oh, thank the ground for catching you. Okay, so from here, open your arms up wide and put your palms on the ground. You can rest your forehead on the ground and smush your nose if you want to. So go ahead and now lift your left leg up off the ground as high as it wants to go. And then you can inhale and set it back down. Exhale, lift your right leg up. Inhale, set it back down. Exhale, left leg lifts. Inhale, down. And you're going to go back and forth, side to side, exhaling to lift, inhaling to lower. And as you do that, trying to keep your pelvis and your spine hugged into a neutral position here, a stable position in the middle. You don't want to lift a leg and let yourself flop over to the other side or displace the stability of the pelvis or the spine. One more each way, finishing on the right. And then go ahead and give your hips a little wiggle and shake here. Okay, take a breath in to prepare, and as you exhale, lift your left leg up, and then keep it up and bend your knee so the sole of your foot is pointing towards the ceiling. And then you're going to reach your left foot towards the ground on your right side. So you're coming into a twist here. Now, your foot might touch the ground, it might not. Mine doesn't today. That's okay. And then roll back to the middle. So get your pelvis glued in first, then straighten your leg and lower your leg back down to the ground. Full breath in and out. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift your right leg up. Keep your leg up, but bend your knee so sole of the foot points towards the ceiling. And then you're going to start to reach the sole of the right foot over to the ground on the left side of the mat. It might touch, it might not. Now, as you flip back to the middle, get your pelvis glued down first, then straighten your leg, then lower your leg down. Full breath in and out. One more each way. So inhale to prepare. Exhale, left leg lifts, left knee bends, left foot reaches over to the right side. Maybe it touches down, maybe it doesn't. Pelvis comes back. Left leg straightens, left leg lowers. Inhale, exhale. Inhale to prepare. Last one. Exhale, lift your right leg up. Bend your right knee. Reach your right foot over to the left side. Maybe it touches down, maybe it doesn't. And then the pelvis comes back. Keep that leg up. Straighten the leg. And lower to the ground. Make a pillow with your hands and rest your forehead on the backs of your hands and give your hips a wiggle. Okay, so from here, you're going to put your hands down under your shoulders. So find where your shoulder joint is and put your palms right under that. So your elbows are going to be close to your sides. Take a breath in and make sure that your bottom is relaxed. Okay, let your butt go, let your legs go. So we're inhaling to prepare. As you exhale, push into your hands and lift into a back bend as far as feels comfortable to you. Inhale to come back down. Exhale to lift. So your back bend might be here, might be little. Your back bend might be really big. I'm not going to do a really big one because that won't feel well for my body. Feel your tummy engage with your exhale to support you lifting. Legs are heavy. Triceps are on fire. Last one. And release. Again, make a pillow with your hands. Relax. Okay. Let's get back up. So put your hands down by your sides. You could curl your toes under. You can use your knees for help. That's what I'm gonna do. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, push up to plank, low plank, all fours, or somewhere in between. There was a time when I could do that really easily. The time is not now. And that just speaks to how our bodies change when we focus on different things, and you know, that's fine. We're gonna come to standing. So you can flip up through a squat, you can come up through a lunge, whatever works for you. The squat might look like this. Try not to use your hands, but if you need to, you need to. Okay, so we're gonna stand in the middle of the mat, and we have our feet wider than our pelvis, but they're still parallel. Okay, here we go. So I'm just gonna bring my hands together. You can interlace your fingers if you want, whatever feels better, more comfortable for you as we get ready to focus on our lower half for a moment. So we're gonna do that same squat breath. So inhale to do a wide-legged squat, and then exhale to stand. Then you're gonna take your right leg and swing it around behind your left side for a curtsy squat. Inhaling down, exhale to straighten the legs and step back. Inhale, wide squat. Exhale, stand. Now left leg swings back around, curtsy squat. Inhaling down, exhale up and stepping back. Okay, so if you wanna go quick, go quick. If you wanna go slow, go slow. You do you. Here we go. Inhaling down, exhaling up. Right side moves back. Really driving the seat back. Inhaling as you bend your knees, exhaling as you straighten. Nice deep breaths as you go. If you've come this far and you're rethinking your pace or your tempo, rethink it. Switch it up. Maybe you're thinking, oh, I'm feeling like strong and energetic today. I'm gonna speed it up. Go for it. Speed it up if you want to. Maybe you started fast and you're like, oh, I immediately regret this decision. Then slow it down. And if you like where you are, hang out. If you do this video more than once, one day you might find yourself wanting to do this at a fast tempo, at a fast pace. And another day, you might want to go slow. Our bodies are not the same every day. Sometimes they need one thing, and the very next day they could need something totally different. So pay attention, tune in, and you decide, because you know your body better than anybody. And when we create space in our minds for our bodies to be different from day to day, that's being kind. That's being kind to your body. One more each way. Finishing on the right, curtsy squat to the right, and coming to the center. Release your hands, close your eyes, breathe. Feel your heart beating. Maybe you can hear it. Blink open your eyes. It's time to put baby in the corner. Let's go to the corner. Okay, so from here, you're gonna walk your feet a little bit out of the corner and then let your upper body smush in to the corner. So I'm gonna put my elbows at shoulder height, and I'm making fists, but you can have karate chop hands, whatever you wanna do. Let your ribs melt down towards the wall, okay? So take a breath in, and then as you exhale, you're gonna push your elbows into the wall to stand back upright. So as you do that, feeling your shoulder blades move in towards your spine. Inhale, slow, controlled release. Exhale, shoulder blades in. So this is such a nice way to work the upper back and the shoulders with zero equipment. Notice if one of your arms is doing all the work. I just noticed that my poor right arm is doing more work than my left arm. So I'm gonna say, hey lefty, time to show up. As you're coming upright and the shoulder blades are coming in, don't let the ribs flare out, okay? Keep the ribs in center. We got 2 more here, girls. I said girls, but you know, you might not be a girl. That was not inclusive. So I'm sorry. I'll try better next time. And because I was apologizing, I lost count. Double sorry. That was probably 2. Holy cow, your arms. Shake them out. Okay, come back to your mat. Thank you, corner. That's also a really great thing to do after you've been, here at the desk for a little while. Great thing about working from home, if you have the opportunity to do that, is movement breaks. Take your feet wide again. We're gonna keep them parallel. Bring your hands to your hips, and we're gonna dip one hip at a time. Nice and easy, getting sassy. Waking up your dancing hips, waking up these outer hip muscles. We're gonna come back to them in just a minute on the ground. But before we do that, let's come to our waist and our ribs. So still your pelvis, put your hands on your hips, and then you're gonna just shift your rib cage laterally to the right, come back to the center, and go to the left. And slide your ribs back and forth. So we're not crunching one side and the other. We're just taking the whole rib cage and sliding from side to side. Hands on the hips reminds your pelvis and your legs to stay put so that the ribs can do the work. Remember to breathe. Now we're gonna add some arm reaches. So as your ribs go to the right, your left arm's gonna go up at a diagonal, okay? And then back to center. As your ribs go to the left, your right arm goes up to a diagonal and back to center. So here we go. Inhale and exhale to reach. Inhale to center, exhale to reach. That breath might feel odd to you. You might feel like you want to inhale as you reach, but see if you can exhale just for today. And as you reach with the exhale and take the ribs laterally, can you feel your tummy turn on that way? Legs are strong. And again, maybe you're going quicker. Maybe you're going slow. You're in control. We started over on the right, so let's do 2 more rounds and we'll finish on the left. Finishing up. And there we go. Woke up your waist, woke up your middle. Let's bring it down to the ground. So maybe you're gonna step down through a lunge or a squat. Now, we're gonna lie down on our side. So you can just let your head rest on the ground if that stretch that provides to your neck feels well. You can also put a forearm under your head, or you can use a block or a blanket. I'm gonna use a blanket because it feels like I'm taking good care of myself when I give myself this little cush here. So we're gonna get the hips stacked, one on top of the other. And if you have a doubt that your hips are stacked up, scoot back against the wall and the wall will keep you honest, okay? So the knees are at 90 degrees and the hips are at 90 degrees, okay? So we're not up here. We don't have the knees too close to the chest. We don't have the knees too far away from the chest. 90 and 90. Okay, so we're gonna take a breath in. And then as you exhale, you're gonna imagine your legs are a suitcase and you're opening the suitcase. Inhale to come down. Exhale to open the suitcase. So go slowly with intention here. If you open your suitcase too fast, your pelvis might come askew, okay? So we want the hips to stay stacked. Inhale down, exhale to lift. And so here, you really want to go until you reach fatigue in the muscles. And that's going to be different for everybody. And as we've already talked about, your body's not the same every day. So it might be different today than it was yesterday or tomorrow. What does fatigue feel like? Well, I'm starting to get there because I'm feeling my legs shake. I'm feeling this kind of uncontrollable quiver in my leg. And I know that I'm really challenging those muscles on my outer hip, which when you really get right down to it, that's core musculature, okay? Core strength right here. So if you've already reached fatigue, cool. You get to rest for a minute. And if you haven't reached fatigue yet, we're about to move on. You can always press pause and keep hanging out here, practicing for as long as you can while maintaining good form and good breath. Okay, last one. And relax. Can you feel that left hip? Maybe give it a little rub. If it feels crampy, you can make a soft fist and pummel gently. Ooh, that feels nice. Okay, let's go ahead and turn over to the other side. I'm gonna flip around so I don't have my back to you. And so I don't lay on my mic pack. Okay, so we're on the left side. The hips are stacked again, and we have 90 and 90 in the knees and in the hip joint. So we're gonna take a breath in to prepare and exhale. Open the suitcase. Inhale to come back down. So we're going slow and controlled, trying to lift the knee and the ankle at the same time and lower at the same time. So knee and ankle are making contact together at the same time at the end of the move. And remember, if you are opening your suitcase too fast, or maybe you're trying to open too high, maybe you need to open just a little bit if your muscles aren't used to this. If you go beyond what your outer hip is ready for today, then you might be stacking open your pelvis as you lift. So that's why, a wall, doing this at a wall can help you to stay honest with where you need to be. So if you have a hand on your top hip like I do, you might be able to tell with your fingers at your low belly, hopefully as you exhale and lift your leg, hopefully you can notice your low belly, your deep belly muscles contracting or tightening or activating to help you lift. And again, we're trying to go to fatigue here. So if you want to work to fatigue with me, you can stop when you feel like you can't go anymore, but you're still, very composed mentally and emotionally. If you're really feeling like you're going to die, or you're just like really beating yourself up, or you're being too hard on yourself, or thinking, I'm so weak, oh my gosh, I'm so weak, then maybe you do need to stop and take a moment for rest and self-compassion. If you haven't reached fatigue yet, then you can always press pause and keep going. I'm getting there, so I'm gonna do one more and I'm gonna stop. So let your legs relax, let your hips relax. Feel that work, that deep hip work. Give your hip a little rub. Say thank you, good job, I'm proud of you. Have you ever told your hips that you're proud of them? If you haven't, now's the time. You can also make a soft fist and give it a little pummel. Oh, I think that feels so good. Okay. I don't want to stop, but I will, because we'll move on. Okay, let's push ourselves back upright. Coming to a seat. I'm going to move my blanket out of the way. Okay, so we're going to sit on the sits bones with the knees bent and the feet out in front of us. And as you do this, I have sock fuzz all over my pants from wearing my socks on the mat. So while we're doing this exercise, you can play around with how far away you have your feet from your pelvis, or how close you have your feet. I like to be kind of part way, where I don't feel too overextended and I don't feel too scrunched up. And I've really wiggled and found the connection of my sit bones into the mat. And I'm gonna make sure that I'm not lifting up through the ribs. I'm gonna dial the ribs down. I'm gonna rest my hands on my legs. Okay, so I'm gonna take a breath in, and then as I exhale, I'm gonna lean back. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, lean back, keeping the feet anchored. Inhale, come up. And this time, if it feels well, as you exhale, lean back and push with your hands. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lean back, push with your hands. Release the push as you inhale and come up. Exhale, lean back, push, and continue. So as you do the push, I like to do it after I've almost completed my exhale, because then I know that my navel is drawn in pretty much as far as it's gonna go. And then the push just adds a little extra challenge. Now, when I push with my hands, I'm not tucking my pelvis under. I'm leaving my pelvis where it is. That's part of the challenge. Also, the big challenge for me is to bring my torso up at the same time as opposed to my rib cage leading the pack. So the push doesn't look like much is happening, but boy, howdy, there's stuff happening. Last one. Lean back, maybe add the push, and come upright. Okay, let's give the legs a little break. I'm gonna turn sideways. Take your hands behind your back and bring the soles of the feet together, the knees apart. Let your groin relax. I know that's not something that people say on a daily basis. I'm just gonna take this pose and let my groin relax. But maybe we should. Okay, so I'm just like wiggling here, letting things relax. Taking a deep breath. Okay, now you might choose to do this with your hands still behind your back for extra support, which is gonna be super helpful if you try to pick up your hands. Does it feel like you're slumped back? If it feels like you're slumped back, then go ahead and keep your hands back behind you. Hold yourself up that way. That's fine. Okay. So without using your hands on your leg, you're going to pick up your left leg and extend it out straight and then set it on the ground. Woo. And then pick it up, bend your knee, and come back to your cobbler's pose. This is truth telling here. Okay, right side, here we go. Pick up, extend your legs straight. Ooh, put it down, pick it up, and bring it back. One more each way, just to potentially solidify your disdain of me in the current moment. If you need somebody to disdain, I'm there for you. Okay, and back to our cobbler's pose, butterfly, whatever you want to call it. Flap your little butterfly wings for a moment. And now let's go ahead and take both legs out. So again, if you are feeling a little slumped here, like it's hard to sit up, sit on your folded blanket or your block or a pillow, and that can help. So you can still keep your hands behind you for a little support. We're gonna come back to that rib slide movement, okay? And just noticing how things are connected here. So when you slide your ribs over to the right, do you feel anything going on the left? When you slide your ribs over to the left, do you feel anything going on over to the right? Just paying attention, exploring. And then, I like to get a little flowy with it sometimes. I like to get my shoulders and my head involved. If you want to have your hands kind of dusting the floor in front of you, that's fine. You can keep your hands behind your back here too. But to be clear, it's the ribs and the tummy and the waist that's moving you from side to side. It's not your hands. Okay, it's coming from the center. Okay, and let's stop, come back to the middle. Okay, we're gonna bring the legs in, but we're gonna bounce them, dribble them in Okay, and we're gonna come down to the back. And so this is where I like to use my blanket again under my head and shoulders because it helps me keep my ribs down when I'm on my back doing core work. And I'm not quite yet to the point where I feel like my muscles can hold my ribs down for me. So that's why I like to put the blanket or the pillow underneath my head, because then I can still challenge myself with these reclined core strengthening moves. So I want you to tune into your pelvis here. Okay, find your hip points, find your pubic bone, and we want to make sure that the pubic bone and the hip point are on a level playing field. So you're going to have to maybe sense down deeper than any lovable soft tissue that you have right there until you feel that those bony landmarks are on a level plane. Okay, so I like to pay attention to the pelvis as opposed to is your lower back on the ground or isn't your lower back on the ground? Because everybody's body is a different shape. So if you can sense down to your bone structure, hopefully you can feel that your pubic bone and your hip points are on a level field, and that also your rib cage is on a level field with those points as well, and not, you don't want your rib cage thrust up here, okay? Let me get organized again. Okay, so let's see, let's bring our toes together and the heels together. Okay, and so now let's take a breath in, and as you exhale, squeeze your legs together. So you're squeezing the big toe side of the foot and the ankle, the inner ankle together, but you're also squeezing the knees together. And go ahead and put your hands on your belly and relax your legs. Inhale. As you exhale, squeeze your knees and your legs together. Can you feel, with your hands on your belly, can you feel your navel pull down towards your spine? On that exhale, inhale, relax. Exhale. Feel the navel pull down. Inhale to relax. And exhale. Pull the navel down. Now, can you keep the navel down? Can you keep the squeeze in your legs? Can you shift your breath a little higher up into your rib cage? Can you take another inhale while still keeping your navel pulled down? And exhale, committing to that integrity. So you're practicing breathing up into the ribs. Your core musculature is holding your tummy in a more narrow position. Okay, once you feel confident in that, go ahead and relax. Once you feel like, okay, I can keep that core integrity and still take some deep breaths up into my ribs, cool, then you can move on to the next part today. If you can't do that, then maybe continue working with that exercise that we just did. So go ahead and take a breath in and exhale. Engage. The pelvis is still neutral. Take another breath into the chest. You're staying engaged. And exhale. Float your feet up off the ground. Okay. So if this doesn't feel well for you, what you can do is stay on your toes, but scoot your feet a little bit further away from your pelvis. So you have an option, okay? And what we're gonna do here is heel taps. So keeping the tummy taut, breathing into the ribs, inhale and then exhale, tap a heel. Inhale, exhale. So the tap is quick. Inhale, exhale. If you have your toes on the ground, it's gonna look like this. Let me get my core organized. Let me get core-ganized. So I'm gonna take a breath in. I'm gonna pick up my foot, and then as I exhale, tap, and bring it back together. Inhale to lift up your foot, and exhale, tap, and come back down. Inhale, exhale. So you got choices. Either up high, maybe you try both. Maybe you're still back in starting position, hugging everything in and just practicing breathing with your tummy toned, with your core deeply activated. Wherever you are, whichever level you're at, keep going for 3, 2, 1. Relax. Give your knees a little hug into your chest, and you can rock a bit from side to side. Okay, let's stretch out our hips a little. So cross your left ankle over your right thigh. If you feel a good stretch in your left hip, stay there. If you want more, then please lift up your right foot, and you can put your hands on your knee, or you can reach through and interlace your fingers on your right shy, or your right thin, your right shin, or the back of your right thigh. And maybe do a little rocking from side to side, watching how the stretch sensation changes as you move. And let's switch. So uncross, put your feet on the ground. Right ankle over left thigh. Maybe you're staying put. Maybe you're lifting up. You can put your hands on your knee, or you can reach through and clasp. And again, starting to rock the legs maybe. Sensing how that feeling of stretch changes based on the position of the legs. And then let's release. Both feet on the ground. And put your arms down by your sides. So here we are gonna do a little rocking. We're gonna rock our bodies in an effort to kind of mellow out the nervous system. So you're gonna have your hands by your sides, and then you're going to push your feet away from you, and that's gonna make your head go this way, and then pull your feet towards your pelvis. And you're just gonna do that really fast. And hopefully you notice your chin lifting and lowering. You can feel this little rocking movement in your head. Close your eyes and rock yourself. Relax your neck so that your head can do this jiggle. For 3, 2, and 1. If you'd like to take the time to relax, go ahead and set a timer. Otherwise, if you're ready to move on with the rest of your day, you can go ahead and slowly roll over to one side and sit up. I hope you feel great. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.